today we're going to be using crayons and paint to make some really fun dinosaurs. You guys are going to have a great time.
I am.
We're going to be drawing dinosaurs, and I want to talk to you guys about how do you draw something that looks so complicated. Let's see, I guess we can start with this one. He's a little more simple. He doesn't have all the spike. The first thing you want to do if you're drawing something tricky is look for the easiest part. The second thing you want to do when you're drawing something tricky is look for the shapes. And the third thing you can do when you're drawing something tricky is to use the remote control in your eyeballs. Not sure if you knew you had one. So the first thing we're going to do with this guy is kind of figure out how big we want him. And honestly, probably he's going to be about life size because he fits on the paper this way. So for this guy, let's start breaking him down into some shapes. So I'm going to start with his body right here. In this section, you could do a circle. And remember, we're going to draw light. I'm going to try to draw a little darker though, because you want to draw light so that you can erase it. I'm going to draw light or darker so the camera can see it. Okay, so now let's look at his legs. These two legs in here, if you were going to break that down and say that was a shape, what shape would that be? Maybe you said a rectangle. This part's a little more rounded, and it even starts up here. So if you want to draw the rectangle that's up here, you can. It's not really connected, so I don't really have to do that line. And then we're going to go, this rectangle goes back this way, and it's more narrow, and also it's a little curved. So do you guys notice how I didn't really stop and erase all those lines? It kind of helps you if you leave your mistake lines on. And then here's a curved line and a flat. So flat and a curve. Okay, look at this one. This is another rectangle going down a little bit. And then a rectangle, but a little bit curved. Curved line and a curved line. And then you can do, let's see, this looks like a job for the remote control. So how you work your remote control is you click it on, right there in the side of your face. And then you look with your eyes. And your eyes, as your eyes follow the path of the foot, your pencil is going to move the same way. So I'm looking at here, and I'm starting my pencil here, and I'm going to go down a little bit, curve it over, then go up where the toes are, and then curve back around to meet the foot. Okay, so that's my remote control drawing. Now let's go ahead and go do the neck. This is a nice S curve. It's really tall. One thing you could do to help you, if you know you want to get all the way up here, you could do that. If this looks a little bit like an oval to you, or even a rectangle with a little lump on top, I could go ahead and draw that. So I got my lump, I've got my oval for the back of the face. The front of the face is a little bit squared off, but it's kind of like an oval or a circle. Like this could be like a circle with a rectangle on it. Okay, now I've got this S shape connecting here to here. So I'm going to start up here. Use your remote control to connect your eyes to your pencil. You're following your eyes down here, and your pencil's going to go with it. Same thing for here. I'm going to start here. Oh, he's got some funny little lumps. I'm going to do the lumps, and then I'm going to go down just like that. Oh, and there's another lump down there. Boop. Okay, let's do his tail. So the tail in this toy curves back. I can use my imagination to change it. I could use my imagination to curve it up. And then it connects to the bottom. Okay, so now what about his back feet? Now if we're looking at him straight on, this back leg comes this way, And it is just kind of it's kind of a noodle. It's kind of like a pool noodle. I don't know. Okay, so if it helps you to think about shapes, think about shapes. If it helps you to follow it along with your eyes and try to move your pencil at the same time, do that. Anytime you do something that you don't really like, you really don't need to worry about erasing it right away. Just keep going back like I am and sketch onto it a little bit more. I'm going to turn, I moved my dino, so I'm going to move it down. And then once you're sure you like it, then you can erase. Okay? So he needs an eye. And he needs a mouth. He's kind of grouchy looking with his dark, downturned mouth. And he doesn't really have a whole lot going on. He does have these kind of bumps around the ridges, which I could go back and make more interesting, but instead of worrying about all that with my pencil, once I have it how I like it a little bit with my pencil, I'm going to take my Sharpie, go ahead and put your name, and remember, you do not draw on anyone or anything other than your paper with your Sharpie. So I'm going to use my Sharpie to trace my lines, and if I wanted to add some new details, like if I wanted to add a little ridges down the back, I can do that with my Sharpie real quick without having to draw it with the pencil, as long as you're not going to forget. And then you just kind of got to pay attention so that you know you're not, like I don't need to draw this oval. That was just to kind of help me get the shape of it. And you can change it a little bit as you go too. I always do. So the trick is, if you decide to do it this way, if you want to just go for it straight with the Sharpie and be brave, you can. If you decide you're going to be nervous, that you might make a mistake, you can use a pencil first. Just remember that if you drew some helping shapes, then you don't need to trace all those with Sharpie. I'm going to draw his grouchy face, his nostril, his eye, but I'm not going to draw that little oval inside, and I'm not going to draw this oval. So now I can use my eraser. Hopefully you guys have the big erasers at your table, and erase all that, and it's going to look pretty awesome. All right, now the other thing you want to draw is we're going to draw a horizon line. A horizon line is just a straight line that goes across the page that shows where the sky meets the ground. And we want our dinosaurs here. So I'm going to make my straight line starting here, but I'm not going to draw it through my dino because he's in front. So I'm going to move my hand to the back and go back there. You want your dinosaur to be the emphasis of the picture. We want him to be the main subject. So we're not going to worry too much about our background today. Although honestly, if you wanted to put a volcano or something in there, you can. Okay, so if you wanted to do some sort of landscape in there, you can sketch it out a little bit with pencil. We are going to be breaking into the super secret stash of metallic crayons for this. And I am going to color my dinosaur with my metallic crayons. Any way you want would be awesome when you color, if you can color in the direction of the thing you're coloring. So I'm drawing the neck, coloring in the neck. So I'm going to color in the same direction. Notice I'm going to go a little slower and kind of outline things first. And then once I have a little outline section, I can color it in faster. You might want to outline the eye in here so you don't accidentally go into the eye when you're coloring fast, if you want to do it that way. So coloring the same direction, coloring in little sections can help you. And you know what? You guys can use crayons and mix them. Let's see, if I want to look around, if I wanted to add some gold to this red, that could look cool. So I could add some gold. Or if I want to find, let's see if this will show up, another pink, I could add that on. You can kind of experiment. Ooh, I could have the head be the redder color, and then I could take the body into the lighter pink. That looks neat. Okay, so I want you guys to experiment with the color, with the crayons, and try to see if you can layer colors, mix colors, color it in nicely so that you don't see a lot of white spots unless you're purposefully leaving a white spot. Let's say I'm going to put some white spots on my dinosaur's leg. The best way to do that is just color a circle and then color in around that, and I'm going to leave the white white. Now I'm going to go for my background. I may want to color my volcano with crayons too. Okay, our background colors do not have to be realistic at all. When you're using Mr. Brush, get him wet, and you have to get, if you want a nice bold color, you want to stir it around. If the whole circle is open, about 10 times. And then we're going to just paint our background. Now this paint, you can see my brush is a little dry. When I brush it, you can see the brush marks. So all you have to do to fix this is take Mr. Brush and do a quick dip, boop, in and out. And now let's see what happens. Look, I didn't even add any more paint. All I did was give him that quick boop. And look, I can spread all this paint all around. And see how I'm going nice and slow around my dino and around my horizon line. And then inside, you can go crazy, okay? But when you're by your dino, nice and slow, and then you can get a little crazier. Now, quick dip into the water, and you can spread this paint around. See how I only got paint once, but I used the water to spread it around? You guys can do that. But now I need some more paint, so I'm going to go back to this same color, add some water, and spread it around slow around my dino. Quick dip, spread my paint, and if you want to get more paint too, you can do that. Just go slow, slow, fast. Once you're done with the top, you're going to start with your new color. Remember, before you get your color, you're going to give Mr. Brush a nice relaxing bath in the water, and then you're going to twirl around, around, around several times. Okay, so la-di-da-di-da. Get a bunch of paint and go back. If your paint water is starting to get really muddy because your friends are using it too, and you're washing your brush but it's not clean when it comes out, then that's when you raise your hand and we will switch out your water. Okay, the last step is totally optional, but if you want, you can glue a googly eye to your dino. So I'm going to put a little glue stick on here. Line it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There he is. Mr. Dino, or Mrs. Dino, is complete. So we're going to put these in the drying rack when we're done.